Many people can't start their day without it. Some debate the relative merits of espresso, latte, or cappuccino. For others, however it comes, it's simply a cup of coffee. Whatever your taste, in Dublin many people head for Bewley's Cafe in Grafton Street. It's always been popular since it first opened in 1927. Joyce, Beckett, and more recently Bob Geldof have been among the regulars. And now more than 1 million customers visit the cafe every year. But behind the steam of the espresso machine is another story, one which has helped thousands of people on the other side of the world. 40% of the coffee drunk in Bewley's comes from the northern highlands of Nicaragua in Central America. After Haiti, Nicaragua is the second poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and the northern highlands is one of its poorest areas.
Nicaragua is an agricultural-based country. So most of people's income will come through agriculture, producing corn and beans, which is the staple diet, and then also some export crops such as coffee. And life can be pretty tough, especially when you depend on international markets for your income.
The coffee growers of Nicaragua found this out the hard way in the 1990s when a collapse in prices on the world market left tens of thousands of people destitute. One way for small coffee farmers to protect themselves against the vagaries of the international market was to pool resources and set up cooperatives in their areas. This was taken a step further by groups like Cepexca, a collective which organises 18 cooperatives in 22 rural communities in the region of Jinotega. With help from Christian Aid, Cepexca has grown into an organisation which brings direct benefits to members of the cooperatives and their families, around 4,000 people. Before Cepexca came along, the small farmers had little choice but to sell their harvested coffee cherries to middlemen. These people controlled all the processing stages that turned the coffee cherries into roasted beans, and the more stages you controlled, the greater your profits.
You can see this facility here, which didn't exist 4 or 5 years ago. They're now drying the coffee. And they've just built in the last, this is my first time to this mill actually, seeing this, because a couple of years ago this wasn't here. So now they're taking away the parchment, they're sorting it into specialty grade, commercial grade. So they're just all of these different processes that's involved in coffee. Up to 7 or 8 years ago, this would all been, let's say, outsourced, or it would have been subcontracted to bigger companies. They're getting more and more and more of the value themselves.
The strength of Cepexca means that farmers have greater bargaining power and better access to lucrative international markets. Bewley's has been sourcing coffee from Nicaragua for 9 years and has been working with Cepexca for the last 6. And recently the Mace chain of convenience stores in the Republic signed an agreement to put Bewley's coffee into its stores. This meant the coffee company was able to seal a 3-year deal worth $2 million to the Nicaraguan cooperative.
Muy importante es para nosotros Irlanda como un país consumidor de café producido por pequeños productores y productoras de Cepexca. No solamente por el 25% que eso representa, sino sabemos que son consumidores que conocen de calidad del producto, pero también consumidores conscientes porque prefieren un café bajo el sello Comercio Justo, que es una certificación que es muy efectiva y que está apuntando al verdadero desarrollo y la verdadera participación de los productores en la administración de sus recursos naturales, los beneficios sociales que trae también Comercio Justo. Por tanto, Irlanda para nosotros es extremadamente importante.
Cepexca has been approved by Fairtrade for several years now, and most of its coffee is sold under the Fairtrade label. The farmers receive a premium on their Fairtrade sales, and the cooperatives decide how this money should be invested. Much of it funds social projects like schools, clinics or pharmacies. The collective strength of Sipexka helps the small farmers in other ways too. Its technicians can advise members about the condition of the soil on their farms and the most suitable type of fertilizer they should use. They also offer credit or loans to the farmers to help to expand their businesses, a vital service for people who might not have access to the regular banking system.
Bueno, para mí la vida era un poco amarga, pues, porque realmente yo me gusta trabajar en el campo, pues, el asunto del café, ¿no? Pero yo no podía conseguir préstamos para seguir siempre, pues, para tecnificar más mi plantación de café, ¿no? Me organicé con Sopesca, pues, algunos que ya eran fundadores de Sopesca me invitaron, pues, a que asistiera a las reuniones, ¿no? Que allí, pues, podía obtener lo que yo quería, ¿no? Se me apareció la oportunidad de que me vendieran una parcela de tierra también. Solicité a doña Fátima, que es la gerente de Sopesca, ¿no? Y me dio el visto bueno, pues, que me iban a otorgar el préstamo para comprarla.
The lives of many families have been transformed since they became part of the Sipexka collective. Coffee farmers who grew up without being able to read or write wanted a better future for their children. Schools have been built and the community's young people have been encouraged to learn about sustainable development.
Ha hecho diferencia en lo que se refiere a aprender a cómo trabajar con la mano con el medio ambiente y a desarrollarnos más nuestras capacidades, formándonos con programas como en agroecología y además aprender cómo organizarnos.
We've seen it firsthand over the 7 or 8 years. Everything from the education standards is going up, the health standards are going up, and just year on year on year, all the little projects are being ticked off. What I admire about Christian Aid is what they've seemed to identify the right projects and not just trying to go in and change something overnight. It's always taken the longer 10-year view.
Sipexka's director, Fatima Ismail Espinosa, is very clear about the part that Christian Aid has played in the growth of the organisation. When we were very small with nothing but dreams, she says, Christian Aid came and helped us grow. Christian Aid has been like our mother. Sipexka is standing on its own feet now, a symbol of what can be achieved by even the smallest players in what can be a harsh and unforgiving market. It's a point worth remembering when you take that next sip of coffee.